Comfort zones are internal areas that people regularly explore. You know what it means to explore, right? To like an explorer, that's what comes to mind is like, somebody who's on a safari or somebody who's going through the jungle and they have their compass, they have their machete, they have their broad hat, maybe have some mesh and some other tools and trinkets. They've got a belt of some sort. They're an explorer, right? And so that's what the imagery gives here at the beginning of this definition. Comfort zones are internal areas that people regularly, not once or twice, but on a regular basis, they explore them. They look around in them. They're so comfortable there. They love their comfort zones and they regularly explore them, and they are influenced by their experiences. Comfort zones are internal areas that people regularly explore and are influenced by their experiences. In order to be influenced by your experiences, however, you actually need to be cognizant and aware and familiar with what those experiences are. Comfort zones, listen, when somebody gets into their zone, it can be a good thing. When a basketball player gets into the zone, he's heating up, right? He's found his spot, right? And he's draining threes. He can't miss. Getting into a zone can be a good thing. And so comfort zones are internal areas that people regularly explore and are influenced by their experiences. While they can be a safe space to retreat to, staying in them too long, however, can limit growth and potential. Have you ever seen a potted plant? A potted plant that is on a growth trajectory. They're very comfortable in that pot. They're being nourished in that pot. That pot is portable. The owner is able to put it out by the window and bring it in when it's a major thunderstorm. They're able to get water and sunlight and nutrients, fertilizer. That pot is a safe space for that plant. But when that pot becomes the limiting factor for how far that plant can grow, then the safe space, becomes a place of death. It becomes a place where innovation and greatness and potential can die. And it behooves the owner from time to time at regular intervals as they see growth to unpot that plant and put it into a bigger pot so it has even more growth potential. But if the plant continues to grow, even that bigger pot will become a place of limit, a place of death. And eventually, that owner is going to have to take that plant and plant it into the ground where there is limitless potential, limitless growth opportunity. And this is what I want to share. I got a DM from somebody who has been following along with the Coaching Corner, and they were like, man, you're kind of tough on the comfort zone, man. I feel like, the comfort zone has good qualities as well. And I was like, well, maybe they're right. Maybe I have been a little difficult and been one-sided on comfort zones. I want to say right here, as we begin our time together today, comfort zones aren't necessarily bad. They're internal areas that people regularly explore and are influenced by their experiences. Experiences is what I trade in. Your experiences is your secret sauce. It is your fingerprint. It is the value you have to bring. Nobody else can tell your stories. So experiences, it's quite literally a great place to start with. The problem is, for many of us, we stay there. For many of us, we outgrow the potential of that space and we stay there. because it's comfortable, because it's known, because it's our part of our regular rhythm. And because we stay there, we cut off our ability to grow. We abort our potential. And that is the dynamic that I really want to focus in on, is the part where we are limiting our potential. There are several types of comfort zones, and we talked about habits of action last week. If you didn't get a chance to check out that one, you should definitely go back. These are actions that people regularly do, such as eating certain foods, brushing their teeth, or even yelling when something doesn't go as planned. These are habits of action. If I go to a specific restaurant, I eat a specific thing. It's my habit of action. That can be a comfort zone. And it's probably a good comfort zone, unless it's keeping you from tasting probably your most favorite dish. Today, I want to talk about habits of thinking. And I'm going to play the intro just in a second here. We're going to dive into, I see several of you are chiming in, 12 of you on the live with us already today. Habits of thinking. These are thoughts that people regularly have. Oh boy, we're going to get into something today. These are thoughts that people regularly have, such as feeling grateful for small things, focusing on what's wrong. Is there even one witness? Or finding fault with others. Habits of thinking is our topic for today for the Coaching Corner. Let's dive in. So I want to say a word of welcome to all of you that are hanging out with us today. This is the Coaching Corner, and my name is Kirk Nugent, serve as your host. This is a space where we get a chance to pull aside from the cares of the week, where we get a chance to put off the fighting gloves for just a moment, step away from the grind and the hustle and all of the things that are pulling at your attention. And we get to just lock in for a few moments to be poured back into, to consider something new, to reframe and relook at what it is we're hoping to achieve, and gain insight and hopefully some perspective and some wisdom, something that's going to enable you to step back in the ring with renewed vigor, renewed strength, renewed energy, with clarity of what your next steps are going to be, what the strategy is going to be now that you have had a moment in the Coaching Corner. And you know, when you're in a boxing match and you get pulled into the Coaching Corner, that bell rings and the ref sends everybody back to their corner. And that's called the Coaching Corner. Why? Because your coach is there and they're whispering something in your ear. They're sharing something with you that is of note. They're making sure you know what you're doing well, and celebrating that, but they're also sharing with you, man, you have a tell. You do a thing with your leg. You have a twitch in your eye. You're dropping your hand. You're not guarding this weak spot. These are all critical areas that we each need to be reminded of regularly. One of the things I often tell mentees is that I've got a finance coach. I've got a men's coach, right? How to man right? Oh gosh, how to do manhood properly? How to be a good father, good husband, good son, good brother, good friend, right? I've got a coach that works with me on my content and my business and my entrepreneurial endeavors. I've got a coach that works with my wife and I as we work as a couple and as we parent. We've got coaches that pour into us from a mental perspective, from an emotional perspective, from a physical perspective. I've got a coach that keeps me fit, that is constantly poking me and prodding me, saying, hey, you need to get back on your grind, back into your workout series. You need to stop eating that trash. I've got coaches, quite literally, for every aspect of my life. And here's the clincher. Many of them don't even know that they're operating in the capacity of coach. But one thing is critical. If I want to be a high performing individual in any one of the areas that I've just mentioned, I need a immovable sounding board, somebody who has a vested interest in my success, but is not impressed with me such that they are not willing to say, you fouled up over here. You're doing this, and this is not yielding the results that you want. Somebody that can call you on the carpet. And that's why coaching is something that has been transformational for me, and is something that I want to make sure that I share with others. One of the calling of my life, I believe it is to be a content coach. In many ways, I get a chance to work with people at some of the most critical and pivotal moments of their lives as they seek to serve an audience, grow and engage, to funnel clients to their business, to establish themselves as a thought leader. They're looking to use content as their digital storefront, because there's no greater way for people to experience your secret sauce and be convinced that you're the person that they want to work with than for them to see it regularly with efficacy and expertise on their video screen. Now, I do want to say a word of welcome to all of you that are here today. That's a comment from last week, but here I've got my first comment for today from my good friend David Hunt. Going to work with Kirk. That's shirtable. Oh man, it's shirtable. This experience. Come on, David Hunt. I love it. Getting ready for this video. All of these comments he put in there before I even went live, but I'm excited to have you with us today, David. We missed you before, and I'm excited to have you with us today. A couple of you have hit the like button already, but somebody has hit the dislike button. And let me be clear. Oh, they just fixed it. But I always like when that happens, because it gives me an opportunity to say, it doesn't matter if you hit the like button or the dislike button. It is a response, and YouTube sees both of them as being something of an engagement metric. So we'll get more into that later. And of course, this is the Coaching Corner. So if you have questions, drop your questions. But we're definitely talking about comfort zones and habits of thinking and how that relates to being successful with your content. 6 of you have hit the like button. I want to say a word of thanks. Hey, Nea, thank you so much for being with us today. Always appreciate you being with us. It's always dope. And I love to see you guys engaging with one another in the chat. Moderator salute to both David and NA and Tracy, who is Mini Scenes GB. She's saying hi, Kirk. Hey to you as well. I am doing exceptionally well today. Why? Because I just feel grateful. I just feel grateful. BTS with Nikki Nicole is here. Says, hey, Kirk, how are you? Doing great. And I can't thank you enough for being with us today. Shira Renee, another one of our regulars. I can't thank you enough for being with us today. Darius O'Kane is on the live. Great afternoon, everyone. Great afternoon to you as well. It is 12:13 here in the Central Time Zone, and we are going to chop it up. Oh, Florence Donald is on the live, aka Equip Institute. Hello, fam. Thank you so much for being with us. Sippy Cup Adventures of Northern California. I got a chance to meet him, and we had a great conversation. Followed up with a quick little email, and I'm excited for what you are doing, sir. And I'm really glad to have you as part of the community. It's never we have plenty of room. We never have enough, and where creators are learning and growing and thriving, that is a space that we want to make sure we are able to invite more people into. A lot of different comments with people just kind of going back and forth and saying what's up to one another. This is the time. This is the time, David Hunt says. Love seeing it. Love seeing it. I see Kirk Nugent bringing Reflecting Forward to us with the Nugent flair. Come on. Listen, we got to do it. We got to do it. Hey, and I'm glad you were able to come through and hang out with us the other night for Reflecting Forward, Florence. Pierre really appreciated that, for having you come through and hang out with us. Great to see each and every one of you. Super excited for what we're going to dive into today. Florence says, I had that very conversation with a client last night. The convo was about being coached by someone who does not know they're coaching me. That's the words to live by, as they say. I got a chance to talk with, I've shared this story before, but with Alvin Chia, the bass from Take 6, but also a prolific voiceover artist, and just has a a ridiculous body of work and a storied career in doing voice acting. And I was there last night too. That's so dope. But yeah. Doc Bashar, what's going on, sir? Good afternoon to you as well. But yeah, that was one of the things he shared with me, and it literally changed my entire perspective. I was saying to myself, man, how do I get coached by these, these ridiculously successful individuals? And he was like, oh, that guy doesn't even know I exist. That person that coached me. Now, I was talking to him. He this same guy that I've shared this story about before, Alvin Chia, and the story goes, he basically found somebody who was in the voiceover world, and he followed them. He watched their trajectory. He learned from their steps and missteps, and learned from their strategies and innovative thought and thinking. How he was pushing in the space and turning over some of those long held beliefs and really allowing the industry to have his fingerprint on it and establishing himself as an authority at the same time. And as he was following this person, he was doing some of the same things for himself and learning along the way. And I remember saying to him, man, how did you get in touch with that person? How did you get them to coach you? And he's like, oh, that person doesn't know who I am. That's how the story goes. He says that person doesn't even know who I am. That person doesn't even know that they were coaching me. I just believe that success leaves clues. Now, when I got a chance to chat with him again, he was recently here in Huntsville for a concert, and I got a chance to chat with him again. And he was saying to me, do you know that I actually got a chance to meet that guy? I had told that story enough times and finally started actually sharing the person's name. And now not only have I met the person, I've been able to have regular conversation with them because he's able to grow. He has been able to grow his own influence, his own stature, his own gravitas to the point where this other individual that he was following has taken notice. And in many ways, his career has eclipsed the person that he was following. This is not uncommon in the coaching experience. For somebody that I'm coaching to have exponential results that eclipse my own is not uncommon. And I have actually experienced this multiple times, and I hope to experience it again because it means that what I'm sharing, it's working. And that's what I want to make sure we get a chance to really hang out with and dive in on tonight. We talked today. It feels like night because it's like super dark outside. We're getting some torrential downpour here in Huntsville, Alabama. But one of the things that we have been harping on, I don't see any questions, so I feel good about just kind of diving back into where we were. We've been talking about comfort zones. We've been talking about comfort zones having different addresses, different types and sizes and shapes of comfort zones. And the adage that says that comfort zones is where greatness goes to die. And greatness is what we all hope to attain and achieve. Greatness has different definitions. It doesn't necessarily mean status or fame or money, but greatness may simply mean impact to the right people at the right time. And in order for you to have a modicum, a measure of greatness, for you to experience that, you've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And one of the things that we shared over the last couple of weeks as we've been touching on this whole concept of comfort zones is we've been looking at how can we address or adjust our thinking so that our comfort zones are areas of discomfort. Our comfort zones are areas where we become comfortable pushing outside of what's known. Because how many know that your comfort zone, your discomfort zone doesn't have to be your areas of growth? Let me rephrase that. Your areas where you're pushing outside of what's known, where you're pushing out into areas that you haven't necessarily even tested yourself yet. How many know that those, yes, while they can be uncomfortable initially, those areas can be comfortable for you? I'll give you one example from my own life. I absolutely love product testing. I love product testing because I don't know exactly what I'm going to get. I don't know exactly what I'm going to see. And in fact, one of the things that I have become known for in the live streaming space, literally just worked with two brands over the last 2 days that I'm going to be doing content on, is looking at their platform as a blank slate, not having done the demo, not having read any manuals, just looking at their platform and poking around in there and seeing what I can figure out. That live session that I do where I take one of those platforms and I just kind of kick the tires, that's something that people are willing to pay for. Why? Because it is the unknown, number one. It is live and we don't know what's going to happen. That's number two. Number three, it's supposed to be an area of discomfort. I don't really know what I'm going to do, so I'm not sure how what do I click next? I wonder what does this do? How do you get comfortable in areas where you're uncomfortable? How does that become part of your normative behavior? And this is where our comfort zone today comes into play. Habits of thinking. Habits of thinking. These are thoughts that people regularly have, such as, these are examples, feeling grateful for small things. If you develop a habit of feeling grateful for small things, then that becomes a habit of thinking. If you develop a habit of saying, when I'm in the unknown, I'm actually in my sweet spot, I'm actually in my comfort zone, then the unknown becomes a habit of thinking. The comfort level in the unknown is a habit of thinking. These are can be also described as focusing on what's wrong. That can be a habit of thinking, focusing on what's wrong. Man, that logo is not quite in the place that I'd like it to be, and I really want to adjust it. And it becomes this debilitating thing because it's a habit of thinking. Can you arrest it? Can you stop it before it happens? Can you tweak it? Can you change it? Can you have a positive version of it? What are some habits of thinking that you are dealing with right now? And I want to pose this to the chat. Here's another example. Finding fault with others and finding fault with yourself can be a habit of thinking. Negative self-talk is one of the things that I'm constantly trying to root out when I'm in coaching sessions. And it is a significant habit of thinking. And I want to pose it to the rest of you guys out there. What are some of the habits of thinking that have hampered your success, that are not serving you well, that you are aware of? If you'd be so bold as to share one or two of those, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Season's greetings to you as well. Kerwin Bornell, thank you so much for being with us. I see Doc Bashara is here as well. Following mentors to someday become a mentor. Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, you're already a mentor to someone. To someone, you're already a mentor. If you just keep on living, if you just keep on doing what you're doing. I'm always glad to see when you see the comments in the chat and people are going back and forth with one another, you know that this is real, true, honest community. And I love that. I see folks waving. I'm glad that all of you are here. Miss you guys. Come on, Kerwin Bornell. I love it. Michael Fleming says, good afternoon, everyone. Mike, I just had a birthday recently, so we want to say what's up and happy birthday to you as well. Comfort zones. What are some habits of thinking that are not serving you well? What are some habits of thinking that are not serving you well? And even as you consider that, one of the things I want to share is that we have a number of videos and resources available for you, not only on this channel, but also on my website. I see some of you are responding now, but one of the limiting factors that many people get stuck in is this concept of I need to go to YouTube. You see, this is a habit of thinking. I've got to go to YouTube in order to see that stuff. And here you're seeing my website. This is howitallworks.com. This is a version of YouTube, of my YouTube channel, essentially, but it allows me a much better presentation because I can share with you what the latest and greatest is. This is my latest coaching content, the 40 plus advantage on YouTube. This needs to be refreshed. This is my latest creator motivation podcast, which today's quote is actually by Winston Churchill. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. That is a firecracker. Watch at your own risk. It may change your life, just the FYI. Then we've got shorts. And I'm going to tell you right now, man, I have been pushing in the shorts category. And so you're going to see a number of shorts. I mean, look at all those shorts. Listen, you didn't know I had all those shorts, did you? There's a lot of shorts. There's a lot of shorts on the channel. So wanted to make sure you guys get a chance to see this. Don't get stuck in the habit of thinking, let me go to YouTube and see what Kirk has. Shift your mindset towards, I wonder if I can find what the latest is from Kirk on his website. I was talking to somebody recently about the necessity of having a show page. Like, why is a show page even necessary? The person said to me. I was like, a show page is necessary because if the notifications from YouTube stop working, or from Facebook, if they stop working, from LinkedIn or Instagram, if they stop working, and your thousands of followers don't have a normative behavior of checking your website to see what's the latest and greatest, then you're in bad shape. In addition to that, I have added people to my mailing list, and on Mondays, so the video drops on Sunday, on Mondays, I try to send out a message letting people know this is what the video is all about. This is what the video is all about. This is what the video is all about. Now, let's go here. Success has 2 C's, Kirk. Is that right? Let me go back to this thumbnail. Let's go back to it. Yeah, you are correct. That thing is misspelled. That is a great catch. A great catch, David Hunt. I want to say a word of thanks to you for this is a team effort. Always love being able to come through and see these things. That is one of my favorite quotes by Winston Churchill. Nikki Nicole says, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Dr. Oteng is with us, says, hi fam. Hey, what's going on, man? Thank you so much. Now, let me see. Some of you have been obedient and you've actually responded to my question. What are some habits of thinking that are not serving you well? One of those habits, Florence says, is shying away from being really good at what I put my hands on. I do the work and will downplay the effort and results. Ooh, this is a big one. Oh man, this is a big one. This is a big one. Oh my goodness. Oh, let me come back to full screen. Florence, we could spend the rest of the day on that. We could spend the rest of the day on that. You know, one of the statements that that came out of, general conversation with people from my channel and other places when I first got started. In fact, we even have a t-shirt that says this, and it goes something like, we don't do humble on the live. And a lot of people bristle at that. A lot of people are not happy with that particular comment, with that particular saying, because they're like, no. You don't want to be prideful. You don't want to be facetious. You don't want to be boastful. But here's the truth. If I'm going to establish myself as a thought leader in a given space, as an expert, right? If I'm going to funnel clients to my business, if I'm going to grow and engage an audience, I can't do that by downplaying what I know I'm good at. And that's what Florence's quote, what her statement is all about. And that is a habit of thinking that most people need to break. Like, well, I dabble. No, I don't dabble. I spend many a night working on my live streaming. I spend hours on end tweaking and practicing and making sure that it's right. And I still don't necessarily get it right to my standard. And because I'm not working towards anybody else's standard, I'm working towards mine, I'm constantly edging further, higher, innovating. And if you look at any high-performing individual, I often like to talk about Kobe and the way that he would play the game of basketball and how his personal trainer could not get to the gym before him because Kobe was like, if you ever are able to put in more work than me, then I cease to be a leader in this particular field. He never shied away from saying, I am a leader. Why? Because he put in the work. And a lot of times people don't want to brag. At the end of the show, you're like, hey, how can people find you and follow you? Well, you can just hit me up on Facebook. Well, we don't really have much. No. I've got this offer. I've got this course. I've got this membership. and we're helping people get across the line in these spaces. Don't do humble here. There are lots of places where you can just float under the radar, but I have made it a habit. Yeah. You see, habits of thinking. I've made it a habit to either be quiet and allow my work to speak. But if I'm going to open my mouth and talk about my work, I am not going to downplay it. I'm not going to sabotage it. I'm not going to put it on a different tier because I feel that it is less than. I would rather stay quiet and allow the work to speak for itself than to downplay it and give people permission to take what I do for granted. Oh, that's such a great one. Florence, I want to thank you so much for being open and honest today with us in terms of talking about habits of thinking that are not serving you well. Now, I'm just going to read it one more time. One of those habits is shying away from being really good at what I put my hands to, because she's really good at what she does. I do the work and will downplay the effort and results. No, never do that. And I would dare say, Florence, there are many others who are in the exact same space as you. Many others who are experiencing the exact same thing as you. Dr. Bashara shares, I try to do everything myself. And now with the help of AI to make things even easier, it's not helping my case. Oh, habit of thinking. The habit of thinking is that if I don't do it, there's a video I did, and it's called 5 Things You Need to Know or Consider Before Hiring a Video Editor. And while it is specific to video editing, and I think, I'm pretty certain that you watched that video, Doc Bashara, but I think it is broadly applicable. Like, because I didn't do it doesn't necessarily mean it's not done right. Doesn't necessarily mean it's not done well. It's just not the way that I would do it. And I think there is especially as a content entrepreneur, as somebody who's trying to get all the things done and doesn't necessarily have a team, there is a default setting that says I've got to do it. And if I don't do it, it's not going to be done well. I have a team at the church where I serve as media pastor, and one of the guys in the team, he goes there on Fridays before our worship experience on Saturdays, and he said he goes there to get everything in place, put some of the graphics in and all that stuff. And at first I struggled. I was like, I don't really want him doing that, because then and I would come after and retouch things and put it the way that I want it. And I realized that that practice was not going to serve me well. Like, if I didn't relinquish some of the responsibilities, I would never be free. Hear me. I would never be free to innovate the things that no one else can do. And there's a book by, I think it's Greg McKeown. It's called Essentialism. I'm going to actually look that up. Let me see. Essentialism. Yeah. Here is the book. Essentialism. Oh my. Yes, Greg McKeown. There's a book by Greg McKeown called Essentialism, and one of the main themes in the book is where he's sharing with people, you've got to identify the things that are essential that you must do. And once you identify those things, you now have a sub list of the things that are not in that essential category. And that sub list are things that you can now outsource. You can now hire out. You can now put in somebody else's lap. Because if these are the essential things, it's going to enable you to really focus in and have time to think it through, to be present as you're working on it, and to review past iterations so that you can take it to the next level. Those essential things is where you want your effort and energy to be. And I just want to say a word of thanks to Doc Bashara for being willing to share. Because I think, yet again, just like Florence's quote, this is an area that many struggle with. Try to do everything myself. And of course, with AI now, it's not helping your case, but being able to figure out what is essential and what is not, critical to being able to go to the next level. What we're talking about today, if you're just joining us, we're talking about habits of thinking, comfort zones that are habits of thinking. These are thoughts that people regularly have, feeling grateful for small things, focusing on what's wrong, finding fault with others, and finding fault with yourself. What are those habits that are not serving you well? What are those habits that are not serving you well? And Sippy Cup Adventures from Northern California says, paralysis by analysis, deciphering through all the noise, some good, some not so much, and looking like us, look a squirrel. Oh my word. I know this feeling so well, and I'm glad that you were able to share this with us. Paralysis by analysis. Sometimes you feel like I can't necessarily take the next step because I haven't analyzed everything in the current step. I can't necessarily find what the best path forward is because I'm still researching. I still need that mic. I still need to make sure I know all the different ways that this thing could be said before I say this one thing. That paralysis by analysis is a debilitating condition, and it is absolutely a habit of thinking that it must be perfect. We had a morning motivation where we talked about this concept of done for now, right? This level of doneness, right? It's not that it's complete or that it's finished, like I'm never going to touch it again, but it is that it's done for now. Like even at our church, we were doing a renovation, and we went back into the main sanctuary now because the renovation is at a level of completion, you see, done for now, a level of doneness that would enable us to be able to worship in the church again. But we are still, like I was there today, we're still tweaking. There are still some things that are being added. We're putting in some new screens, some new aesthetics on the front of the stage and on the back wall. We're putting in some framing, some lighting will go in toward the end of the year. It's done for now, but it is not complete. And I would dare say for content, man, especially if you put out a video today, you put it out with today's knowledge and with today's expertise. But if I put out that video next year, I put it out with combine what I know today and everything I will learn between now and next year when I put out that next video. So I am a different person when I put out that next thing, and allowing yourself that space to say, this is what I know right now. I did a video where somebody commented and said, hey, there's such and such feature actually does this as well. I didn't see you include that. And I was like, oh snap, I did not know that. I'll make sure to include that in the next video. And you know what else I did? I pinned that person's comment to the video so that as people watch that video, that comment will be the first thing there. So together, between my video and this person's comment, someone gets the full picture. And this is where the paralysis analysis becomes a habit of thinking that does not serve you well. Now that we've gone through a couple of these, and I see my good friend Lemuel is in the chat. What's going on, brother? Always good to see you. Always good to have you. Hey, fam. Lem drops. I love it. It's so good to have you with us today. He came through the other night, and it was so cool. But one of the things that I want to pose to everyone is, what are some habits of thinking that are serving you well? Because see, as they say, success leaves clues. And so we've talked about some habits of thinking that are not serving you well. And I thank you guys for being open and honest and willing to share. But what are some things that are not serving you well? What are some areas of thinking that are serving you well? And the reason why this is so good to share is because your habits of thinking that are serving you well, when you share them with others, they can have impact and effect on them, and they may even adopt them and work them into habits of thinking for themselves. I love it. I love it. I love it. Computer Pal is with us today. I haven't seen you in a long time, sir, and just want to say welcome. Always spilling the tea. I don't know if you're responding to my question Always spilling the tea. Always spilling the tea. Always spilling the tea. I don't know if you're responding to my question, but that is an interesting one. I'll wait to see what your response is. I'll wait to see what your response is. Being able to see and assess your regular MO, right? The way you are and the way you behave and the way you carry yourself. So being able to assess it and see it for what it really is, and to recognize that this is serving me and this is not serving me, is a critical component of being able to be successful as well. And one of the things I always like to make sure I share here in the Coaching Corner is that we must reflect. We must reflect. Now, with all that said, we're at 12:40, and I do want to ensure that there are some questions and answers that we can touch on. If you have any questions about StreamYard, Restream, EVMux, Ecamm Live Pro, if you have any questions about how do I structure my live show, should I have a countdown? I see people are getting rid of that. Why are they getting rid of the countdown? Should I set up a thumbnail, or should I just go live? Should I schedule it and allow it to be there ahead of time? Should I just go live? What's my process? What is my process for bringing guests on to my show? What is that process, and how can I fine tune it and tweak it to where that it is more effective and efficient for all parties involved, including me? What does that look like? Maybe you're wondering, how do I strategize my content planning for next year? What do I look at? What are some of the metrics that I should be mindful of that should play a factor in how I'm going to be moving forward with my channel or with my content in 2025? How do I sit and realistically assess where I have come from in 2024, like all the things that I've experienced from the beginning of the year up until now? These are all great questions, and I would love to be able to dive into each and every one of them with you in the time we have left here in the Coaching Corner. Coaching Corner is a space where content creators, entrepreneurs, where live streamers and live show hosts can come aside from the grind, as it were, because it's such a hamster wheel, right? The content hamster wheel. As I like to tell people, the content monster is always hungry and you must feed it. But it's such a grind to be going back and forth, and making sure that you're staying on target with all that you hope to do. That's the reason why we have this space. And I'm hoping that we're able to get several of you across the line. I see one question has popped in, but I also see a comment from Computer Pal. That's the $1 million question. That's the $1 million question. I'm learning success does not look the same for everyone. As long as you doing your work, not your job. As long as you're doing your work, not your job. Success does not look the same for everyone. I could not agree with you more on that, Computer Pal. And that is a great habit of thinking to develop for others who are looking on. Success does not look the same for everyone. In fact, success is not even defined the same for everyone. So definitely something to consider. Do you have an Ecamm link? I returned your email this morning, and on Ecamm there seems to be an annual fee only. I want to go month to month initially. So Equip Institute is correct. This is my Ecamm link. I think there's a toggle on the page. Sippy Cup. There's a toggle on the page that you can. Let me see. Let's just go to it. Let's go to it. So let's go here. Let's move this to where I can type properly. All right. KirkRNugent.com. Let's go to the screen. So this is my website, and I'm going to go to the resources page. All of my links and resources in one place just for you. And on this page, of course, there is Ecamm. So you have Ecamm right here, and you click that link. It's going to take you to the Ecamm thing, and you can sign up. Now, if you go to plans, the pricing is set to annual. Oh, my smart mouse is not on. It's set to annual. So you just have to toggle it to monthly. And then once you toggle it to monthly, you can subscribe just by doing that. So just toggle it to monthly, and I think that's going to get you across the line. Let me make this a little bit bigger, and then we will be able to share that. Yeah, but you just toggle it to monthly, and it'll give you what you need there. So, and yeah, right now you can actually save 20%. So it's $20 a month for the standard plan, but I recommend the Pro. I'm just going to be honest with you. I think the Pro plan is the best, and honestly, yeah, that 384 for the year, that's so hard to beat right now. That is so hard to beat. That is so hard to beat. In fact, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go to billing and change plan. Come back to the screen here. This is what. Look at this. And this is billed yearly. Billed yearly. It's $68.99 a month. $68.99 a month. This is for StreamYard. This is StreamYard's annual plan. If you do monthly, you're paying. Look at this. For Core, which is the one I have, Advanced is probably the most popular. Meaning, Advanced. I take it back. Advanced is the one I have. That's the one that I have. The Core one is not the one I have. I have the 4 seats. Yeah, downloadable transcripts, on-air webinar for 1,000 viewers. Yes, the advanced one is one I have. And so you look at that. I'm going to put this back to monthly. So you're at $40 a month for this one, for the Pro plan, and $90 a month. Whew, that's crazy. Let me look at some of the others. Let's look at pricing for some of the others. Here's pricing for EV Mux, and here we can change this to monthly, and it's $49 a month for the Pro plan. And again, this is why I keep on saying to folks, like, Ecamm is really a great value for what you're actually getting, and it's my go-to platform. It's what I'm using right now to stream, and it so many functions and features that they provide. Let's go back to here. I'm going to go to pricing for Restream. Restream pricing is on screen right now. Let's go back. And Restream pricing is $40 a month. So, but look, $470 if you do it for the year. You put this to monthly, and it's $49 a month. So you're saving about $10 a month if you go with the annual plan. So $39 for the professional plan from Restream. Let's look at everything on annual pricing. So this is $39 a month, $470 for the year. This one is, let's go back to annual, $40 a month. So it's a little bit better than Restream. StreamYard, $90 a month. Like, that's stupid. And then, of course, I'm going to put this back to annual. $32 a month for the Pro plan of Ecamm. You can't beat that. I just wanted to make sure that we got a chance to get you across the line where that's concerned. So hopefully that helps, and you're able to. Yes. I'm just a few away from 10K. Thank you so much. I thought so. For the Pro version of Ecamm, yes, definitely for the Pro version. Got it. Thank you. Yes. Wow. I guess I gave it. I've got to get a Mac. I definitely would consider it, Computer Pal. Good morning from Canada. I see your question, Doc Bashar. I'm coming to it right now. I just wanted to grab a couple others. I had the one that's now 90. It's about 30. It was about 30 before. Yes, from StreamYard. Absolutely. We'll watch the replay. Thank you so much for being with us and watching the replay. 20 more subscribers until you reach 10K. Yes, that is correct. I saw that right as I was getting ready to go live today. So thank you guys for checking that out. I'm a lifetime subscriber. Ecamm all the way. Ecamm all the way. Ecamm all the way. I could not agree with you more, Kerwin. It is such a cheat code. I have Restream. Somebody says, yeah, the party is coming. We get those subscribers up. You need to know the party is pending. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. All right, let's get our question from Doc Bashara here. It says, am I able to bring comments from Instagram to EVMux? Also, one of the tips on one of your videos to make sure I had a creator account instead of a business account on Instagram answered the on IG answered another issue. Okay, so you're giving us the other part. I have been saying I'm gonna fix this for quite some time, and I keep on putting it off, and I don't know because I don't know what is causing the issue. So I'm going to do this. Duplicate this guy. This host plus comments. Let's get so instead of screen share, wow, there's a couple of screen shares on here. All right, and let's get this. And let's bring up a comment. Okay, let's publish that. Now, yeah, that's working way better. I've been saying I'm going to fix this for quite some time and haven't fixed it, so I'm fixing it today. All right. So, am I able to bring comments from Instagram from Instagram to EVMux? And the answer is no, not natively. No, not natively. Now, no, not natively. You are not able to. The way Ecamm is bringing comments from Instagram into Ecamm is a additional function or feature that Ecamm has added onto its platform that I have not seen anyone else add. So because you're streaming, Instagram has not opened up the API, so you cannot stream directly to Instagram from your streaming platform of choice directly, right? You can't just go into the thing and just click the button that says Instagram. We are all streaming to Instagram using RTMP. That's just the long and short of it. We're all using RTMP to stream to Instagram. So because we're all using RTMP to stream to Instagram, RTMP doesn't send comments. And that is the normative behavior. That is the expectation. So I don't want to make it seem like, StreamYard, Restream, EVMux, they're not doing their good work. They are doing great work. And they've given you all that Instagram has allowed for now. What Ecamm has done is they've added an additional feature so that when you go live to Instagram, they ask you to add your profile. And I'm not certain how they're doing it, but it's almost as if they're going to Instagram, grabbing the comment and making it available in the app, Ecamm, in your Ecamm app, and allowing you to put those comments on screen. So I don't know how they're doing it. I honestly don't, but it is something that Ecamm has done that's kind of separate and above what everybody else is doing. And I think that they just figured, okay, this is, it's just a workaround for now until Instagram opens it up and allows everybody to do comments. But it's been almost a year since they rolled out that feature, and we still don't have comments on Instagram from any other platform except Ecamm, which is crazy to me. So yeah, definitely wanted to make sure I share that, and thank you for making sure that I address that comment. Thank you, Doc Bashar. That was dope. All right, let me go back and see what we got. I think we got a couple more comments since then. Um, let's go back to here. I like this comment from Computer Pal. It says, I've stayed away from Mac. I don't know anything about it. Listen, I don't mind. I mean, listen, it is what it is. I think, you're a computer expert. I've seen your content. So I think you could figure out Mac very quickly and easily. I think. I'm working with people who are not experts in computers, and they are able to figure out this stuff very quickly. But hey, it's personal preference. EVMux is actually a really great alternative for streaming. Really great price as well. As you can see, all the prices that I just showed a second ago. So definitely one of the others might be able to work out for you. So check that out if you can. Let's see what else we got. So thank you for that comment. Is it possible to switch an IG business account to a creator account? I don't know. I have not done it. And so, but what I have done with Instagram is I just stream to my own account. I have a How It All Works account on Instagram. But I haven't been able to configure that for streaming. Well, I can, but I haven't been able to configure it to get the comments. So, but being able to have a creator account is probably the easiest way to do that. Now, let me see here. What do I have? I don't have a business account, so I don't know what you are able to see when you pull up your account. So, like when I pull up my account, it immediately just says creator, right? It just says creator. So let me go to settings. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think you go into edit your profile, Florence, and in your profile you have, I see some toggles here for business account, professional account, creator tools. I see some toggles. So maybe it is possible. But again, without seeing your account, I wouldn't be able to answer that question directly. What up, 24-hour boss? It's good to see you. Always good to have you on the live with us, man. It's been a little minute. This is one long-time subscriber. What up? What's up, Kirk and family? Saw you were live, just saying hello. Definitely excited to have you with us today. Demolition News, another one that has always been with us and has been growing tremendously, and we are always excited to be able to share with folks Demolition News' story, which is that he's taken some of the principles and practices that we have shared here at this channel, and he's just run with it, and he's off to the races. Hundreds of thousands of content that he's been able to do. It's been amazing. Macs just work. I used PCs for 20 plus years, switched to Macs and haven't looked back. I actually still use both. And I have no, whenever people are like, oh, which one is better? I just feel like, man, whichever one gets the job done for you. I don't have necessarily a preference, but whichever one gets the job done. Yes, I switched from a business to a creator account quickly. I wasn't able to see the comments on live beforehand. That is the point. So, and I love this. This is exactly what I was hoping for. Is that somebody else would come through and be able to answer that question for Florence, and that's exactly what happened. And I thank you, Dr. Bishara, for that. I see 24-hour boss is chatting with folks in the chat. Kirk, I save a Sony ZV-1 looking to get. I have, okay, all right, that's a H. Kirk, I have a Sony ZV-1 looking to get a new camera for streaming. What do you suggest? I suggest the ZV-E10. The first gen, if you can get your hands on it. I know it's not a new camera anymore, but I do suggest that camera because, man, it just, you can plug it up as a webcam, just USB. And then it also, especially if you're doing for streaming, right? You don't need all the, in body image stabilization. So you don't need IBIS, which ZV-E10 first gen does not have. So those are the things that immediately come to mind when I think about what, if you're going to be using a camera for streaming, what would be the best thing? If you can get your hands on, the ZV-E10, but even if you get the ZV-E10 Mark II, it's not bad, not bad at all. It'll work as well. Let me pull up a page here. Let's go to it. Screen. So this is my Amazon page. You'll see on here. So, and I'm just going to ask one of my moderators to put the link in the chat for Computer Pal, kirkarnugent.live/gear. It's going to take you to the page. So it's going to take you to this page here. And one of the things I say here, like, so for essentials for high quality. So this is the ZV-E10. And it looks like you can still get it. You can still get the ZV-E10. That's $746. No lens. And I recommend getting the 16 millimeter lens if you're going to be doing streaming. If you're going to you do talking head, sitting straight on like I am right now. That's the combination. That's the combination that I think works well, and that's the combination I've actually been using, what I've been recommending. But there is a later model. So if you go to the Sony store, there is a later model. Let me see. Where is it? Hey, they don't have that thing readily available. Come on, Sony. So Sony ZV-1, that's the one you have. Sony. Interesting. I thought they would have that thing right up front, but I guess not. Sony ZV-E10, and it's the Mark II. Let's see. So here's one of them. It's a little bit more, but if you can get this one, it's not bad. It's not bad. I wouldn't necessarily buy this bundle. I wonder if you can just find the camera alone, just the Sony ZV-E10. All right, let's see if this one is it. Yeah, I don't like buying bundles. I do not like buying bundles. Now there's a white version as well. I don't know about the white version, but it comes with the 16 to 15 millimeter. I don't like that. I would go with the body only. And let's see what that costs. $998. Actually, that's actually crazy. It's only $200, maybe $200 and something more than the first gen. But I would highly recommend this. So this will give you a little more flexibility if you wanted to take it off of the tripod and actually take it out in the wild and do some run and gun video, do some still shots. But this is a great camera. I still recommend it highly. It does 4K, and it does. You can plug it up to your computer. You can put a mic on it. It serves as its own. It's just it has been a cheat code for me, and I definitely intend on getting another camera like this one. It's just a great camera. So that's what I would recommend, and I hope that is useful to you. Hopefully that gets you across the line. But yeah. Host plus comments. If we got, he says, thanks so much. Hey, my absolute pleasure. Park Braz is here. Says, hey everyone, just checking in. Thank you so much, Park Braz. We were talking about Ecamm earlier, and I know you would have chimed in if you were here. So definitely excited for that. But yeah, kirkarnugent.live/gear. It's going to take you to my Amazon page. And once you're there, you'll be able to check out some things. I need to go on there and make some changes because I really think that, $746 for the, that's pretty cool. Let me do something here real quick. Let's edit this guy. And yeah, okay, we should be able to do that. One Sony ZV-10. Let's do that. Save that. And then let's remove this product, add products, browser history, that one. That's the one. Let's say done. All right, so that is what will be in the list now. So I'm actually just making some changes to that list to update it, and I think we saved it. So let's click back to view storefront, and I think these are the essentials for high quality video podcast, up to 4 people. So this is just one of the ideal lists that I have here. I am going to adjust this one as well. I think I put a camera here on this one, so let's do that as well. Hit the edit button. Listen, we're working live here, y'all. Sony ZV-E10, the 2 in there, and let's get that added Let's remove this product. Add products, browser history. Add that product to done. And if I go back to the top, manage products, I want this table to be at the front. It's got to be at the front. All right, so we did that, and go back to the storefront. So those have been updated. But yeah, thank you for the question. It allowed me to make sure that my stuff is right, and it wasn't quite right. So I needed to make sure I do that. If Lem is still here, this is his book in my cart, and I'm gonna hit the purchase button on that on Friday, because I'll be doing some purchasing on Friday. But there's a number of items on the channel here, a number of items that I have done videos for, and there's even some live streams on the channel where I've kind of talked about some of the gear that I have in my studio and further, right? This is what's funny is that I have these shades with me right now that are on the screen there, so that's pretty cool. All right, now you've kind of seen some of that stuff. Let's get back to our comment section and see what we got. Which lens did you say to get with that camera? Oh, that's so dope. That's so dope, Tracy. That's so awesome. Let's go. Let's go. I'm super excited. We talked about this, I don't even know, maybe a week or so ago. And that is so cool. I now have made a start on my storefront. LOL. That's so good. That's so good. That's so good. Kirk's a true showman. Thank you so much, bro. All right, let me get back to your question. Now, you asked, what lens did you say to get with that camera? So that's a really great question. I don't know why I didn't just stay right there and go back to it. Let's go back to the storefront. So let's get back to the screen. So this is the storefront. One of the things, the lens. So it's all going to depend on how far you want to be away from that camera. And so one of the lens that I recommend is the Sigma 16mm lens. That's the one that I recommend. So I'm gonna go to this. That's the audio podcast. Let's go to the video one. Which lens did I recommend here? This is the one. So if you go to the Essentials for High Quality Video podcast, up to 4 people, I put the widest lens that I recommend in that. This lens that I have here is the one that I'm currently using right now. It's the Sigma 16mm lens f1.4. That lens does the job. It does the job. It will get you straight across the line. I mean, that's essentially what you see right now is that lens on the Sony a6400, but it is still the Sigma 16mm lens, and you can see how much that gives me. Now, I have this set to 4K. If I changed it to 1080p, it would even be wider, right? But there's a crop that it has because I have it set to 4K. In fact, I'm streaming in 4K right now. Some of you guys are watching it at a lower quality. No. I'm streaming in 4K right now. So hopefully that answers the question. The Sigma 16mm lens is what I recommend with that camera. Thank you for the question, sir. Always good. That's weird. You get approved, have a storefront. Yes. I love to see people celebrating with people. That's always great. But listen, I'm over my time today. You guys have been so gracious. I thank you for coming and hanging out. One of the things I've been harping on the last couple of weeks is the idea of getting out of your comfort zone and doing something new. Actually getting comfortable being uncomfortable. Finding out what are those comfort zones that you have, habits of action, habits of thinking, roles, right? The different roles that come along with being in your comfort zone, relaxed, risk, and reckless zones. These are different zones that people can recognize and respect. These are all things that I want to make sure that you're aware of and that you can notice them in yourself so that you can edit. You can edit, you can tweak, you can make those shifts and changes, and you can elevate and innovate and go to the next level. At the next level, you need to go through the same process again so that you can realize even more growth. We started off by talking about that plant, and that plant that potted plant that's in it's in its comfort zone in that pot. It's getting the nutrients it needs. It's getting the sunlight. It's being brought inside where it's nice. The environment is controlled and brought back outside when there's great sunlight by its owner. That plant has all the ingredients for it to grow. And that's a great place for it to be, until it's not a great place for it to be, until the pot that it's in becomes the limiting factor for the plant's success. And if you haven't figured out already, you and I are that plant. And every now and again, that plant nursery person is going to have to take that plant out of its current pot and put it in a bigger one, until the plant gets to a place where you've just got to plant it in the earth, because that's the best environment for it to realize its full potential and not be hampered or limited by its comfort zone. And that's simply what I want to share with you today. Do not settle for where you currently are. There is another level. There is more for you to achieve. There is more for you to realize. There is more for you to experience, more lives to touch. You have expanded reach that you can realize. Your comfort zone can be a place of safety. It can be a place where you're influenced by your experiences. It can be a place that you regularly explore, but your comfort zone, if you stay there too long, can limit your growth and potential, and it can be a death sentence for greatness. And that's what I want to leave with you today. That's what I wanted to leave with you today. I so enjoy these times that we have together, where we get a chance to rock, we get a chance to answer questions, we get a chance to chat with one another. If you have something, you're watching this on replay, and you want to be able to leave that in the comment section below, this is my promise to you. I respond to all the comments on my channel. No one else does. My VA does not. Team members do not. I do that. And so I want to encourage you. If you're watching, you have a comment, you have a question, you want to know, hey, wait a minute. What was that link? I didn't see it in the chat. You tell me what that page was. Or I have a question on cameras too. I have a question on lenses too. I have a question on mics too. Let me know. We would love to be able to answer those questions for you. We'd love for you to be able to join us in the Workers Warehouse and membership. There's going to be a ton of things coming in 2025. We said that for 2024, and I think we did it. But in 2025, we're going to a whole nother level. Some of y'all will get that later. That's a meme that I've been seeing running around the interwebs. But 2025, we're going to another level. 2025, I'm taking my own advice. I'm not staying in my comfort zone. I am going to be pushing. I'm going to be pushing. I've mentioned a couple of those on Monday night in our vertical live stream. I hope that you guys can join us for that. We've got shorts that are going to be dropping for the rest of the week. We've got morning motivation on Wednesdays at 6:30 or 7 a.m., depending on where you catch it. And we have our regular content that drops on Sunday afternoons, every Sunday afternoon. My name is Kirk Nugent, also go by the Geek Speaker Preacher. And I believe your live stream is your digital storefront. I believe your online video content is your digital storefront, because there's no better way to go from busy and broke to peaceful and paid. And for your target audience, your perfect person, your avatar, to see your expertise on display in content or in video or while live. And I want to help people to do that. I feel like that's the calling that God has placed on my life, to help people understand the mechanics, to be able to put all the puzzle pieces together, to see how it all works so that they can realize their full potential. And that's the type of content you'll find here on this channel. I can't thank you enough for your time, your attention, your energy. We will see you around these internet streets or in the next video. Grace and peace, fam.